happening? Today I want to talk about why I think meditation is like a critical thing to get down. It's one of those things that if you implement it, your life becomes it explodes. Like, stuff can happen in life, right? And you can get kind of like ticked off, but when you kind of find this centeredness, this groundedness, the best way I can describe it is stuff can be happening outside of your temple, but when you're centered and grounded, it doesn't bother you. Like, it can create an emotional response, but you're not attached to that response. You can kind of observe it in this is going to sound kind of gay, but like in a kind of a loving way, you know, and you can kind of learn from it rather than what most people do. They just react, right? So by the way, real quick, how's the mic, Tom? Is it, am I coming in okay? So something that I wanted to share was this topic today, because I noticed that a lot of people kind of go through life, and you can see people on the street, like they kind of look like their face is just grounded into the dirt, and it's almost kind of like their eyes are glazed over, right? And shit's just happened to them. They've reacted, and they're constantly up in their mind. They're in their head, and they don't know how to get out of it. So a lot of people spend most of the time up in their mind, and you could argue it's a bad thing, but a lot of people are kind of unconscious to the fact that your brain is thinking, right? Your brain has thoughts on a day-to-day basis, but overall, you want to be the master of your mind, right? You don't want your mind to be a parasite controlling you. Now, life was happening to me throughout most of my life. The thoughts that I was thinking, a lot of them were repetitive. The only reason certain things would change would be based on new experiences that I would take. And if you look at most of the world, everybody's kind of doing the same day-to-day stuff a lot of the time. If you look at a lot of people that are depressed, a lot of people that are kind of stuck in mediocrity and they don't know how to get out, they're doing the same things on a day-to-day basis. And because of that, they're having the same day-to-day thoughts. Now, what enlightenment is the awareness that you're thinking. And that's really all it is. It's really simple. It's not this crazy state of mind. It's really this space that you create. It's this space that can always be there between you and your thoughts, the real you. Because your thoughts aren't you. It might seem like that, but it's not true. Because I can say right now, pink elephant, right? Imagine a pink elephant. That was my thought that I just gave you. And you're probably visualizing a pink elephant, right? So that's not you. Because if your thoughts are you, me saying certain things would trigger certain thoughts in your mind, and they were initially my thoughts. So that doesn't make any sense. Your thoughts can't be you. Your thoughts can be characteristics of your habits and things that you value, but your thoughts can change. Like, your thoughts, like if you have enough practice on changing yourself and developing yourself, you're going to have different thoughts. So if that's the case, your thinking mind isn't you. What you actually are is that awareness behind the thoughts, the observer of the thinking mind, the observer of the emotions that you have, the observer of just the current moment and what's going on all around you. So meditation is a way to practice separating between your thinking mind, because you might be listening to this right now and you might be thinking about something else, and sometimes you don't even know you're aware you're thinking. Most people don't know that they're thinking most of the time. Thinking just happens. It's a thought activity. So I can tell you that when you start practicing meditation, and I know it kind of sounds really like hippy dippy, but like, you call it whatever you want. All it really fucking is a practice of you creating space and connecting with what's really going on around you, with the present moment, with the now, right? Because when you're thinking, it's kind of like you're on autopilot. When you're absorbed in the thinking mind, you're going through the motions. Your subconscious mind is literally going on autopilot. When you're present, you're very alert. Your sense perceptions are like amplified tenfold. You're more naturally relaxed. So a cool little trick that I'm going to tell you guys a little bit later at the end of this video is after you kind of learn how to meditate, there's a little way that you can kind of like siphon the power of meditation throughout your day whenever you want. Basically, anytime you're having like thoughts that are pissing you off, you can find a way out of that pain and negativity immediately. And I'm going to go over that later. But so really the point of awakening or enlightenment is to just be aware that you're thinking. Because unconsciousness is when you're thinking and you don't know that you're thinking. If that makes sense, we're getting somewhere. I know this is kind of abstract stuff. Bear with me. Anyway, meditation. The easiest way that you can do this, you can do it with your eyes open or your eyes shut. It doesn't matter. But all you really have to do is just sit and not worry about what you have to do later. Getting out of your mind, because what your mind will constantly keep sucking you back to is the future and the past, which don't really exist. Facts, like certain events happened in the past, yes, but the idea of the past isn't even real, because life is constantly happening in the present moment right now. So what will happen typically is when you're trying to stay in the moment, your mind will start, your mind will either put flashes of images in your head or like videos. It'll pop up as kind of like an image or a little voice in your head. The voice in your head might be, this is stupid, like I'm wasting my time doing nothing. So the first thing I want to talk about before we get into how to meditate is the other benefits of meditation. Dude, when you start meditating, you become so much more relaxed. You become naturally happier. You're in the present moment more and more, which is so dope. Because when you're not in the moment, you're stressing out or you're getting depressed about stuff that happened yesterday or a week ago. You're not here. Alright, sounds good, Tommy. I'll see you in a bit. So anyway, when you kind of tap into that meditation, you can get really, really relaxed. And you'll find that you've got more of a sense of clarity. You're more awake. You're more engaged with life. You're happier. You'll notice that you'll actually get new ideas and new inspired thoughts. It's cool shit, man. I'm telling you. So, a nice way that you guys can practice meditating. I personally like doing it outside. I personally like going outside. out in nature, away from all of the human bullshit and drama, all the man-made problems, all the mind-made problems, all the stress that's all created up here, and getting super, super present to the present moment. Super, super grounded by being present. So the way that I like to start is I'll take 3 really deep breaths, and I'll do it slow. So what I'll do is just inhale as deep as I can. And then like when you exhale, let go completely. Let go of everything. Completely let go. And then do that a few more times. And then you'll start to feel more relaxed, right? And then what you can do is close your eyes and focus only on your breath. Focus on filling your lungs, because typically throughout your day, your breath becomes very shallow because you're kind of on autopilot. You're not aware of your breath throughout the day, if you're like most people. And I'm telling you, man, your breathing is literally a fucking superpower. When you take conscious control of your breathing, it can literally be a power up for your day. So your breathing, your lungs aren't really used to opening all the way because it's shallow. And when you have shallow breathing, literally your brain will have more frantic and stressed out thoughts. So you will be more stressed out. So when you start to slow your breath down and start to inhale deep and exhale deep, your brain activity will slow down. And this is really good. And your brain's going to literally say, no, it's not. It's not good. Thinking's where the action is. It's bullshit. Don't listen to it. Because when you're present, I'm telling you, dude, universal intelligence flows through you. You're not filtering yourself. You're not thinking about what if. You're not worried about anything. I'm present right now, and the words are just flowing out. There's no pre-planning here. I'm just flowing. And it's because I'm present right now. And you've been in this present state before. Maybe when you're playing a video game. Maybe when you're doing something that you love to do. You'll naturally enter this like present state. But it's important to also know that when thinking happens, watching the thought when it pops up and not getting too concerned with that thought. Just being aware that a thought popped up. You know what I mean? And just being aware that thoughts happened. And that's really it. So while you're meditating, while you're relaxing, just calm down, calm mind down, and focus on your breath. What you'll notice is that your thinking will slow down. It will start to the thoughts will start to subside, and you'll start to get more and more relaxed as you breathe. So the biggest thing when you first start doing this is set a time limit. When you first start doing this, set it to like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. And focus on your breath. So a nice way of doing this is after you inhale deep and exhale deep, just let go. And then after you do that 3 times, just return your breathing to kind of more of a normal pace. Still slow, still kind of deep, but just count your breaths. So you can do this up to 10, and then once you've reached 10, count backwards from 10, back to 1. And you'll notice that after you do this, you will feel so fucking good. You'll be super, super relaxed. You'll have more creativity. You'll have more creative thoughts. You'll be more attractive. You'll have more kind of a glow about you. You won't have any sense of neediness or anxiety. You won't be projecting beta male behavior or like prey, like predator, prey. Look, when you think of an animal that's considered prey, what do you think of? Somebody that's constantly on the lookout, stressed out, moving around, frantic. So you can kind of get rid of that prey-like vibe and just become really centered and very relaxed and very present. So anytime thoughts pop up, you don't have to take them that seriously. So do this for like about 10 breaths, and you can go backwards if you want to continue. I started out doing this 5 minutes in the morning, and then I just amped it up. I usually do 20 minutes. I've done more, but like I find that 20 minutes a day is pretty solid. I feel really, really good after 20 minutes. So that's something that you guys can do if you enjoy it. You actually might even notice that you really, really do like meditating. And I think it's a necessity that's not necessary, because when you realize what you're not, which is your mind and your body, because you're not your mind or your body's cells will actually recreate. You will literally have new cells within 2 years, including your bone cells. It becomes a completely new body in 2 years. And your thoughts change too. So what you really are is that awareness behind your thinking mind. So when you see thoughts, instead of saying, fuck, I'm not meditating, I'm thinking too much, just be okay with thoughts. When thoughts pop up, be okay with them. And what you'll notice what happens is, initially you see a thought, and then you can relax and be like, oh, it's okay. And then you can bring your attention back to your breath. So anytime you realize thoughts that pop up, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because recognizing that you're thinking is enlightenment. That is enlightenment. You're awake. You're awake unlike everybody else. So being awake has so many benefits. You start to consciously do things. You start to like consciously live life. You're way more engaged, way more alert. Stress creates disease in your body. Too much stress in your body creates illnesses. So when you're in this like natural state, you'll just flow, man. You'll feel so good. And this is when your natural wit comes up. This is when your highest self can get channeled through. This is when universal intelligence can literally speak through you and give you dope ideas and really sick insights. So anyway, I hope this is super helpful. I'm going to stop the stream. And until next Monday, we'll go over some of these other topics again. But just to wrap up, just try meditating for 5 minutes and see how it is. And feel free to reach out to me via email. Shoot me a message on Twitch. I'm super social. I love when you guys message me back. And I love interacting with you guys. And I think if you try meditating, fucking awesome. And feel free, message me if you have any questions about this. We'll talk about this stuff every Monday. And I hope you get a ton of value out of it. I hope you enjoy meditating, and I hope you see the results. Start out 5 minutes, crank it up to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is pretty good too. But whatever time you want, just try it out. All right? Namaste, everybody. I'm going to cut the stream, and I'm going to start streaming again. Anyway, until next time, guys. Peace.